Newcastle, whose shirt you're repping today, is that right? No, sorry.
Sorry, bad.
Newcastle,
Juventus.
Newcastle 4, West Ham 3. West Ham were 3-1 up and ended up losing this game.
Oh
And
dear.
7th versus 8th, it was an interesting battle anyway. And I think we saw quite how much attacking talent was on the pitch in this game. Obviously, for West Ham, Paqueta, Kudus, Bowen, they continue to impress. But this one was about Harvey Barnes, who was a bit of a forgotten man, Dave, wasn't he? What did you make of his impact off the bench?
Oh, that winner was unbelievable, wasn't it? That strike.
Mm.
Oh, out of this world. What a way to win a game. But I think do you know, I'm really happy for him because he obviously he picked up that injury at a really unlucky time, didn't he, as well?
Mm.
And Newcastle. How many injuries did they have in this game? Was it 3 more injuries they picked up? I think 3
Yeah,
players got hit.
Lascelles has done his
Ridiculous.
ACL as well.
It's just they're so unlucky.
Yeah, Lascelles obviously went off with what looks like an ACL as well. So that's his season done.
Oh,
And
I feel distraught for him. He's been so unlucky, hasn't he, over the last few years with injuries? Um,
yeah, and Almiron went off as well, didn't he? But Barnes coming back is huge.
Definitely, and he's obviously one who was given an opportunity with England, wasn't he? Obviously, in the last year or so,
Mm.
Newcastle really needed this result. They've
He
really
did.
been through a tough time of late, and you had to worry for them at 3-1 down because at West Ham
Mm.
actually we're looking so dangerous. Um,
Yeah.
the injuries that Newcastle picked up in this game, obviously when Dan Burn had to go back to centre back as
Mm.
well, kind of put them out of sorts a little bit in terms of their
Yeah.
organisation. All credit to
Mm.
Newcastle, they actually didn't let the heads drop. When we went to three
No.
one, you could have easily they scored so quickly, didn't they, after half time
Mm.
through Jared Bowen, brilliantly taken goal. Again, he's in such a rich vein of form at the minute.
Mm.
That it would have been easy for them to just let their game go. But
Mm.
especially when they're at home, you always fancy them, don't you? And I think the atmosphere that the crowd actually it gives them a second lease of life, and I think that's what it
Yeah.
did.
The spirit in that squad is amazing, isn't it? Considering, like you mentioned, obviously the injuries they've had. Obviously they've had the issues with Tonali, which escalated again this week. I think there's probably a bit of talk about Eddie Howe and his future around this season. But to pull this result out of the bag, is this something Newcastle can kick on from towards the end of the season and maybe push for a European place?
I think so. I think that's what they'll be looking at. It's their
Mm.
consistency has been the main thing, hasn't it?
Mm.
There's obviously been a lot of talk of the injuries and what effect that's had on them as a
Mm.
squad. No doubt it has, but there's been a lot of teams in the league who've had an equal amount of similar amount of injuries,
Mm.
perhaps not as severe, but we all have to deal with these issues at times. I think
Yeah.
they've definitely. I think they'll be able to carry on this form. They just need to just focus on the next game. That's been
Mm.
the key for them is looking for some sort of consistency in their games.
Yeah. Yeah, getting through. The frustrating thing is they'll be without Anthony Gordon in the next game. So I think, again, he has been superb for Newcastle this season. It obviously took him some time to settle after his move last year, and he's just gone from strength to strength. Had an amazing summer with the under-21s, is now in the regular England men's side as well. So for him to be suspended for the next game is unfortunate.